we have the Joker, and he's using cotton candy at the state fair to poison everybody because he's a sick mofo. And then there's those creepy kids again. They're so creepy, which they're actually robots. They're not actual kids, but they're really creepy. And see, me personally, I really feel like Emerson could have done a better job on Joker's voice for the most part, because he gets better as it goes on, but like I said, I feel like he was toned down throughout most of the movie, and I didn't like that. I kind of understand why he would do that, because I think he's kind of trying to hide his crazy, so that people think he is rehabilitated. I just look like this because I fell into chemicals, but I'm just a normal rehabilitated crazy guy,
Yeah, pretty much, so he could get on the talk show and do some mass murdering.
Exactly. I think he did it just kind of fool people, but still, he kind of sticks with that voice even after he leaves there. And as things get more messed up in this movie, his voice gets more intense and more just darker and more visceral.
I love how he's just like shooting at people while he's running through just because he feels like it.
Because he's just a maniac. Because he's a homicidal maniac.
I love that.
God.
He's just classic Batman. He's like, I'm just good. Even though he's only a hostage, I'm gonna chuck my blades at him.
Yeah, he threw batarangs and he got one in his eye and in both his shoulders. And Joker is, are you out of your mind? And I'm like, that's hilarious and messed up at the same time. But like you said, he just continuing murdering people. He's going into the Hall of Mirrors and he's just murdering a kid's parents and taking him hostage, and like I said, Emerson gets better and better as this goes on. Like his performance just, gets exponentially better.
Like it becomes
as this goes
memorable once it gets to the carnival, pretty much.
Yeah. You know what? To be honest, I was kind of hoping they would do the Bruce Lee thing, in the Hall of Mirrors, like they do in the movie, where he gets cut and then he just like tastes his blood and then he lays his smack down on the guy. I wish Batman would have done that, Yeah. He would have like gotten shot and he would have just like tasted the blood and been like whooped on him. But what's awesome is about this movie, and I've been telling all my friends or co-workers who I consider work buddies of mine, that this is the most brutal DC animated movie I've ever seen. Because Batman, it comes down to just these old guys are beating the hell out of each other. Which, tell me if I'm wrong, but Joker looks like he's been working out, right?
Yeah.
Like he looks pretty. He looks more fit than Batman does.
He does.
Whereas Batman looks pretty square and beefy, Joker looks kind of like not triangular, but almost triangular in his build, where he has broad shoulders, and what's the under here? What's this muscle under here? The underubulus or something like that, or the trapezius, or the under
something
the
like
under
that.
tit or something. You know that muscle.
Yeah.
It looks like he's been working that, and it's like in his trapezius rhombus right here, right on the neck, like Bane does, But anyways, it's boring, but it's part of my life. I'll stop talking about that. When they move to the Tunnel of Love, I feel like it gets the most demented when he's
shooting couples while he's going through.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's demented and it's brutal and it's really sick. And the thing is, it's not so much like gory and graphic as much as it is just like
crazy
and powerfully intense, right? Like you're like, what the because this is nothing like you've ever seen before, and you're like, he's just taking pot shots at people and he's just acting like a maniac, like he is.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't even think the movies go as far as this does.
Right. You know what? And that's something I've been telling people is, you know what? I feel like even the actual movies, like even Dark Knight Rises and Dark Knight.
Oh, the Dark Knight.
Yeah, and the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. I feel like yes, those are dark movies because of their performances, but they're not dark like this.
No.
Not like this. No. And like I said, it turns into just these two old guys beating the hell out of each other, right?
Yeah, and pretty much to give Joker the advantage, he has a knife for the hand-to-hand.
Yeah.
So he has a chance.
You know, he's always been lethal with the knife, I feel like. Like, that's always been his greatest weapon of choice.
And heck, wasn't it in the Tim Burton one? Didn't he kill his parents with a knife or a gun? Can't remember.
His parents?
In the Tim Burton movie.
I don't remember.
Joker killed
Which
his
this
parents.
part is sick when he's just like, it reminds me of like a prison stabbing because he's just like stabbing him in the stomach, and I'm like, holy crap. Which this scene I felt was, I don't know, there's certain elements of this fight where it was more powerful in the book. There's certain elements in the movie where it's more intense in the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this where Joker kills himself, you know, after Batman already snapped his neck, is more graphic here.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was more intense in the book. I felt like it was more powerful when Batman did it because I was like, Batman just crossed that line that he never crossed. And I went, I kind of was like, Batman no more, sort of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he is Batman, but he's not, he's, like I said, he's crossed that line. And look, he just sits there next to him like they're old drinking buddies. Or fighting buddies, you know what I mean? And it's demented and it's sick and it's perverted and not like perverted like sexually, but just like it feels wrong, you know what I mean? Like it just feels not wrong in the sense like it doesn't fit, because it does fit, you know what I mean? But like the act of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really intense.
And then he spits on him.
He spits on his dead body, and I was like, holy crap. Like, to me, that was just as powerful as him snapping his neck.
Yeah, that was just like, not only did he kill the Joker, now he's mocking.
He's spitting on his grave. Like, not even his grave, but literally his dead body. You know?
And then and then, of course, they're stupid enough to go try to touch his body, and lights on fire. And now this is interesting right here. You see Batman's really worn out when he's trying to escape because he's not able to do what he needs to do.
Right,
completely.
which this is something that's very interesting to me too, is when he attacks the GPCD, because I feel like he's no holds barred. He's throwing explosives at them, you know? He's doing all this stuff, and I'm going, is he killing them? Because he's already crossed a line. I feel like he almost feels like, I've already crossed this line. I don't feel like he's killing people, but I don't feel like he's openly attacked the police before, except unless they were dirty, you know? Which we know there shouldn't be any dirty cops, because Gordon just retired, you know? And he had a good run, and I would imagine like almost all his guys are clean, you know?
Yeah. You know, whenever I hear dirty cops with Batman, I always think of the first movie where the Joker shoots the dirty cop.
I don't know what you're talking about. Which movie?
The original Tim Burton one.
Oh.
Yeah, the one dirty cop where the Joker goes, "Hey Edgar."
Ambassador. I don't watch that movie all the time like you do.
I overwatched that movie a few times.
I know. That's all you've been talking about lately. Did you go on a Tim Burton Batman binge recently? Because you've been talking about it like constantly.
No, I should.
You might as well.
Yeah.
You might as well. In fact, you know what? Let's do it together so I understand your references now.
Okay.
So I'm not in the dark all the time. But anyways, this part's really crazy too, because in the books, it goes a lot deeper into him fighting the GPCD too. Like this, they made it like a really quick and fast process. But in the book, it was a lot slower, which you can do that in comics. You can take your time. Same thing as the way in books. like I said, comics, movies, books, they're all different, and they can go at different paces. Like, books can be really slow, and that's just fine, and they can be a lot more descriptive. Well, you don't need them to be as descriptive in comics because they show you, instead of having to explain it. But they need good narrative and good dialogue,
Yeah,
and
movies, it's really hard to do a lot of slow stuff.
Right, because
you lose attention of the audience.
Exactly, you can't do slow stuff in movies and shows, as we've seen with The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
You can't do slow because people lose interest, and so they keep it fast paced in this.
It's a good example.
His ears are really short.
Yeah.
I found that funny because, like, in other iterations, his ears are like at least a foot tall. I'm like, maybe he has short ears now that he's an old man. I don't know. Maybe as he gets older, he cuts the ears down. I don't know. It's like maybe it's like trees. You can know the age of the Batman by the size of his ears. I don't know. That's stupid.
This is crazy. Where you're thinking, oh no, is he gonna make it?
Yeah, because he's messed. He is messed up.
And you got good old Alfred stitching him up.
Like always, right?
Yeah.
Like always. So, but like I was saying, you can take stuff slow. The biggest thing that I've noticed between the book and the movie is that narrative. He says a lot of things out loud in this movie. In the book, he doesn't say it out loud. He says it in his head. And he says a lot more. So there's a lot more that he doesn't say in this that is said in the books. And the way that I feel about books and movies is, you know what? I saw this first movie. I saw part 1 before I read the book. And I was inspired to read the book after I read this. Which Brian talks about it all the time. Or he still does.
Yeah.
So I had to read it anyways. I had to up my nerd knowledge and my nerd gamer score, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Get those achievements on there.